Audio's good. There it is. Let's see how this goes. New setup here. Got it right at 7 o'clock. Let me just quickly check. Hopefully this doesn't blow out any speakers. Let me see here. Let me see. Hopefully you guys could hear me. I'm doing a little quick audio test. I'm not going to be watching the stream though, because I think that's distracting. I'll have that on standby. Hojo, how you doing, Hojo? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. Hopefully everything is good. As you could, I guess the topic of the night is a little 4th of July. I know I didn't go online last week to kind of discuss my plans. That's because I was sick. I was very sick actually. Tuesday I was feeling really bad. Wednesday I actually started feeling a little bit better, but not good where I would, pop on here online because my nose, I don't know, you could still hear it. My nose is still a little bit kind of wonky here, but I couldn't miss 2 weeks, right? So that was the plan, and I'm feeling very low energy right now. So I almost didn't pop in, but I think 2 weeks would have been too much for me not to jump on here. As I said in previous weeks, once you miss, maybe once you miss 2 weeks, it's very easy to just keep missing them. So I am feeling good enough to drink a beer with all you. So cheers. But yeah, it was the standard flu. I'm guessing big body aches, stuffy nose, typical flu stuff. It wasn't, I don't think it was COVID or anything serious like that, but Tuesday I was definitely feeling it. So I think there's just something going around. It's basically what it is. So let me say hi to the chat here. Hojo again, welcome. Peaceful Des, how you doing? Peaceful Des, thank you for joining. Travel Diva, what's up, Travel Diva? How you doing? Bat. Everybody's saying hi. Beer is a cure-all. Exactly, Hojo. I haven't had a beer in quite a while. This is my first beer in, I don't know when's the last time I drank before I got sick. It must have been Saturday. Probably last. I know I sound like an alcoholic, right? I'm like, I haven't drank in a week and a half. But yeah, that's as long as, and I don't go heavy too on the drinking. If I could just drink 2 or 3 beers every weekend, that's completely fine. I don't need to get completely wasted, but it's just still funny. I go a week and a half and I'm like, oh man, this is my first beer in a week and a half. It doesn't seem like that long, but yeah, when you're sick, it does feel like a long time. Let me see here. Peaceful Death says, I ran out of beer, picking up more before the live that night. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. Drunken Chef, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? Hopefully all is well. Hopefully you're keeping cool. I know your part of the country is not cool at all right now in the middle of the summer. But it's a toasty, nice little comfortable, I'll tell you what the weather is over here. Nice, comfortable 73 degrees. I think the hottest we've gotten where I'm at in Inglewood, it's been low 80s. And it feels like that's good. I don't want it to get any hotter than that. But we are, we're just looking at the weather right now. So it looks like the rest of the week it's going to be low 80s, high 70s. So that's absolutely terrific weather for me. I love it when it's like that. I cannot Like I said, I can't handle once it starts creeping up in the 90s. I can't handle it. I did a little bit of cooking today, and that in itself was, even though it was 80 degrees, I was still sweating. I feel like right after this live, I'm just gonna take a nice shower and relax and chill out a little bit. But let me see here. NyQuil makes me feel like I had 12 beers. NyQuil is, I didn't drink any NyQuil for when I got sick, but NyQuil, I love NyQuil. It definitely, at least to me, it relaxes me, and it does make me feel better. At least it feels that way. But I think just the medication, I think it just makes you drowsy, and there's enough stuff in there that makes you at least get through the night, because the next day you most likely feel like crap anyways, and that's where Dayquil kicks in. But I avoid Dayquil like the plague. The reason being is it gives me a weird feeling, and I think it's that don't know off the top of the head, but whatever main ingredient they put in Dayquil, it makes me feel, it just like gets my heart racing. It just makes me feel weird, so I never take Dayquil. NyQuil, all on board. So it's Drunken Chess. It's 110 at the moment. Not too bad, he says. 110 is not too bad. That seems really bad to me. Let me see. Damn, ours lows have been in the low 80s in Dallas, highs in the upper 90s to 100s. Yeah, so definitely there are parts in LA where it's in the hundreds. The Valley, they're in the upper 90s, hundreds. In Inglewood, I think we are fortunate enough. We live close enough to the water where it cools us off, so it doesn't get scorching hot here. There are scorching days that will get to the mid 90s, close to the hundreds, but those are very rare. And I think it's just the natural, especially right now in the evening, it cools down significantly just because the water just brings, a nice little kind of nature's AC. Just cools you down, cools the city down. It's really nice to just go outside and walk around. And kid you not, sometimes it cools down enough, like last night, where you would have to put a sweater on. I know it's weird. From people that are living in really hot places, that it will cool down that much in the evening where you have to put on a sweater, but it does. It definitely does cool down. But I think that's just any of those cities that live near the water. I think we got that natural cooling down effect, which is nice, because once you get further east until the LA, East LA, or you get over to the Valley, just deeper inland, it definitely gets hot, and it's 90s, hundreds, most of the summer. So let me see here. Says Drunken Chef says yesterday it's hit 116, and I had the asada on la plancha. Man, I don't know if you caught it earlier, Drunken Chef, but I said I was cooking earlier. It was low 80s, and I was sweating, and it was a chicken cook, so I just, the little time that I'm out there just checking it to make sure everything's cool and then covering it up, I was sweating, and so that's why. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that, see how you guys feel. Are there things when it just gets too hot that you prefer to cook? Because I don't think anybody wants to go out there and, like Drunken Chef, and grills out steaks or carne asada, just being out in the, close to the grill and just flipping meat. I think maybe, I could be wrong. I'm here. I'd love to hear the opinion of the chat. It's maybe picking more low and slow types of cooks, because all you need to do is just get your meat out there, and then just come back inside where it's nice and cool, and then just a couple of hours, go check on it, and then come back in, versus a hot and fast cook. You're right, you're right next to the flame, and it's hot, I would imagine. So there must be summer grilling, when it's too hot, but I'm curious as to what you think, or maybe it doesn't change your your cooking style. Maybe you just cook whatever you want year round. You know, maybe it doesn't matter to you. I'm kind of curious if you change it up due to the weather. And I would imagine the harsh winters you would do the same thing too, right? Like you would do the low and slow. And so you just go out there in the cold, you know, check on your meat and then rush back in. You know, you don't want to be out there in the cold either. So maybe the weather does determine what we cook. You know, you probably wouldn't be out there searing steaks either on a super chilly night, just because you have to tend to the fire. You have to be out there in the cold. Or I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Let me see. Then my lows have been twice yesterday. When saw that, is it fourth? Is it fourth? In fourth is just hot. Yeah, so there's a warm and then just hot. Is this a weather channel or a barbecue channel? Smoky Joe. Hey, I brought it up. I've tried to bring in the barbecue conversation back in there, Joe. So what do you think? Does it change depending on how hot or how cold it is and what you cook? Or you just cook whatever the heck you want out there, whether it's, you know, blazing 100-degree weather or cold, chilly 30-degree weather, it doesn't matter. My theory is to, you know, go low and slow during hot days, because you just go out there, set the meat, come back inside where it's nice and cool, and check on it every so often. But I could be completely wrong. That's why I'm asking the chat. Evening, Joe. Hope you're doing well. Sorry to read the news of your food trailer. There's news of your food trailer. I have some folks asked me to cook for them, but I've been procrastinating. Yeah, it's rough. Thanks, Hojo. All good, my friend. Burgers, tacos, quick cooks like that. So Drunken Chef's strategy is to just go out there, quick, you know, cook, and then get back inside. It's a valid strategy. You know, that's why I'm kind of asking, because you figure, you know, it limits the amount. Maybe earlier part of the day or later part of the evening where it's not as hot. Maybe just pop in there, grill your dinner, and then rush back inside. That's valid. I like that. Hojo says, during the summer, I generally stick with my Weber kettle or direct heat cooker. Fall and winter, I turn on the offset to enjoy the weather and tend to the cooker. Okay, so Hojo's strategy is, you know, he's more of a hot and fast, like Drunken Chef during the summer while it's hot. And when it's a little colder, just likes to go out there and just chill. I like that too. All valid strategies. And so it's always interesting to read how people kind of plan things out, right? Smoking Joe, South Weather Channel. Doesn't matter to me. Rain, sleet, snow, tornadoes. Tornadoes would be rough to go out there and grill, though. Cooking the same way all seasons. Okay, Bat, you just don't even care. You're the ones that just doesn't matter. Let's see. Sal needs a bow tie to give an appropriate weather forecast. Maybe I could do naked weather forecasts. What do you guys think? I want it. I'll cook it. I want to see Sal Weather's girls. Hopefully, it's the same ones from Telemundo. Hey, you never know. So I'm curious as to, let's just keep the chat going. 4th of July, what did everyone do? I know 4th of July was more than a week ago, but I didn't jump on last week. But I'm kind of curious. I did want to bring up a couple of clips that I'll quickly show you, just to let you know how crazy Inglewood gets. They're very short, so it might not really give you the full idea, but let's see if I could pop on over here. Sorry for the vertical video, but this was my 4th of July. Little firework action. A little bit more there. Pretty nice, right? I don't need to go to a fireworks show. This is right outside my house. They go constantly from, I say, about 7 o'clock till like midnight. Again, this is right outside my house, guys. Who needs professional fireworks when you leaving Inglewood, right? But yeah, so it's two different views. Kind of I gave you a 360 view, kind of left side, right side, and the back. The front view I couldn't obviously show you because there's a bunch of trees. So there was definitely fireworks on the front side. And again, they all start from like 7 p.m. and they really don't stop until midnight. So yeah, that's our thing. Oh, just to remind everybody too that fireworks are illegal here in the LA County. If that kind of gives you a glimpse as to the whether people follow the laws. Fireworks here are very illegal, but it doesn't stop anybody, and this happens every year. So as far as going to a fireworks show, I really don't need to. I could just go out there, sip a couple beers, and just watch the neighborhood show. Thankfully, no houses have been burnt, no trees, because on the news, if you live in LA, if you tune into the 10 o'clock news here in LA, you will see a lot of fires, usually trees, like palm trees, just set ablaze. A firework goes up and just burns the hell out of a palm tree or a house or some bushes. So it's a very common thing, but so far this neighborhood hasn't gotten anything like that. So I guess people are being responsible. Normal burgers and dogs. Jump off. Have a good night, Hojo. Thank you for stopping on by. Take care, Hojo. I had my daughter on the grill watching the food while I was watching the fireworks and dancing in the street with my neighbors. Yeah, that's a good time, Travel Diva. That is a good time. Just enjoying the summer and just everybody's just getting together, especially the neighbors. Because it's cool when all the neighbors and they all get along and enjoy it. I know across the street they had a huge party, so they put up their tents, they put up a bunch of 4th of July decorations. They went all out. I was really impressed. I walked by there and I saw the great ambience. People just come here and just have a good time. And that's what it's all about. That's the good thing. And then hopefully, us grillers like to get down on the grill. So hopefully you guys cook some good food. Cheers. That was good. A week and a half without a beer, that was tasting good. And then the next thing I wanted to show everybody was, I don't know if people caught my my latest video. It was a chicken cook, and the only thing that I wanted to say about that chicken cook was I filmed it back in June, early June. I think it was June 3rd. Yes, June 3rd. Sorry, I'm looking at it because I know I have it dated somewhere. I guess it doesn't matter when I did it, but it was definitely June. Okay, June 2nd. So I filmed this back in June 2nd. It is now July 10th, so that's a month and a week after. And I kept pushing that video because there was what I felt were much more interesting cooks. So I would cook something and then I would take that chicken thigh video and be like, no, I'll release it next week. And then that week came and I had a better video and I was like, no, let me push it up. So I kept pushing this video over and over again. Not because there's nothing that I didn't like it. I just didn't know what to do with it because it was very this is a good example of sometimes when you film something there's just something that's missing, or you try to make it into something that it's not. So I tried to make that into a recipe video, and there wasn't enough there. But I let the real story come out, which was this is my first time using those fire baskets. So then I switched gears, that it's not about the chicken cook, even though I do show you how to cook those chicken thighs, but it turned more into about the fire baskets because that was my first time using it. So now it goes to saying where I kind of discovered that in the edit, and you'll hear people talk about that, finding the story in the edit, because you film a bunch of stuff. And I know recipes are probably the easiest thing you could edit because it's you start from a raw piece of chicken and then you end with the finished chicken, and you eat it, and it's a very straightforward story, from beginning to end. There's nothing complicated about it. But once I said, okay, let's me make that about the actual fire baskets, then it turned into, well, what could I say about the fire baskets? Did I shoot enough B-roll? Which I did. And that ended up saving that video, because if I didn't have those shots, then I wouldn't have been able to make that video. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, where it's sometimes, and it turned into a free video for SNS Grills because they didn't pay me to do that. There was no expectations to make that video. That was on my own, and that was for myself, because I enjoyed the product and it made my video better, making it about that. Hopefully that makes sense, because and it hopefully felt natural, because as I was rewatching that before I posted it, I was rewatching it. It said, "Wow, this is it's very clear what the thing is. But it's a little dynamic where yes, I show you what the features are of these fire baskets, but I'm also cooking chicken thighs, and I'm showing you how I cook these chicken thighs." So it was one of those intentions where originally I filmed it just to have B-roll of me using the fire baskets, and then make maybe a review video or something along those lines. But I ended up just kind of including it here, and there's a lot of footage that I didn't include. Let me see if I could bring that up. There was a lot of footage that I did not use, and it was like the unboxing stuff. Like I filmed all of the unboxing, if you could tell here, but I definitely filmed all the unboxing and taking it out and all that stuff, which I didn't include in this video just because there was no room, and it wasn't really much about the product being opened up and everything, because it's I don't want to say boring, but yeah, I think unboxing videos are for the most part boring. So let's just introduce a product and then just get cooking with it, because I think that's what people are interested in, right? I mean, I've said it once, I don't like doing product reviews, and I'm not that guy. I'm not a Tom Horseman that is just going to go in there and just really discuss into detail the advantages, the disadvantages, and, test it and then compare it against the normal Weber, and then just do like a, how much charcoal you could hold and go through all the technical stuff. I'm not that channel. So hopefully my title and the thumbnail is not misleading. Hopefully I don't get angry comments saying, hey, this isn't a review, because I specifically didn't put no review on on the thumbnail or the titles. So but it was about the food. But I felt that introducing the product, it just felt natural. So this way, whenever I use it again, I don't have to introduce it, because I could always refer to this video and say, hey, go check out that video. But at some point, maybe I will use some of this footage. I don't know. And then the other thing that I was going to talk about is just a little bit of like editing tips that I'd want to share with you. But obviously I don't want to get into detail, just because again we're going off topic, right? We're supposed to be talking barbecue and food, and here we go on this other tangent and talk about editing. But let me see here. Let me catch up with the the chat here. Demoose is in the house. How you doing, Demoose? Didn't see your comment until now. Demoose. Cheers, cells and everyone. What's up, Tater? All right, so no questions thus far. So let me just continue on. So one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about, if you see my videos, you'll know this is what I do, right? I don't want to say, I don't want to like make it seem like my way is the best way, because it's not. But most people, when they're editing, say, putting some chicken, I like to call this process, putting the chicken on the grill. Some would feel that they would want to put this whole clip of laying down each piece of chicken on there. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of creators that do that, and it works for them, and there's usually entertaining enough where they're talking about what they're doing, or they're telling you a story in the background, or they're usually talking about something. It's usually not just dead air. They are usually discussing something or giving you tips or things like that. But I usually don't, if I can't fill it with anything, and that was a good 35 seconds of me placing the chicken thighs on the grill. Which, if you look at my video, I did not. That me putting the chicken on there is not 35 seconds. It's actually more like 5 seconds, I think. Because I do little clever things to speed this process up. Because unless I'm talking and saying something insightful or giving you a tip, there's really no need for me to play out this 35-second clip in a video. There are instances where I might, but for this video I didn't. And all I say, I think, in the voiceover, and now I'm going to place the chicken thighs on this grill, and then 5 or 7 seconds later it's done. So how do you speed that up, right? Most would just throw a fast forward motion on it. Let's do like a 4x as a way to just speed it up, right? We've seen this. I've done this, where you just go in fast motion, like all the stuff just gets thrown on there, and just nothing wrong with that. I've done it myself. Sometimes you just want to throw the damn meat on there. You don't want to show you putting each individual pieces. And then where it becomes one of those things is like when we're talking like chicken wings, right? Like you have a bunch of chicken wings on the grill, and then you're just there just removing every one by one. And again, if you could talk, if you could give good tips during that whole minute of you just taking out each individual wing off the grill, then God bless you. Don't stop what you're doing. Keep doing it. But for me, I can't come up with stuff to talk. I can't tell like an interesting story or give you interesting tips, because when I do, I usually do leave it long. And my next video, I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to give you a little bit backstory to why I came up with that recipe, and I'm going to show you me deboning a pork butt. I take the and most of the time I would just say, oh, make sure you debone this pork butt, and it would just be the final thing. But here you're gonna see, I don't know how it's gonna work out yet, but my plan in my head is to just show you me deboning a pork butt, which doesn't really take that long, and in the background I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory as to why I decided to make that recipe. So I don't want anybody to call me out on saying that I would never talk over this long clip, because I'm gonna do it on my next video. So that's kind of what let me see if I can do this. So you've seen this too, where I would chop it. So anytime I don't see any action, so I would right there, I would make a cut right when it lands, And then I would make a cut when it lands. Let me do one more so you guys see what I'm talking about. And then right there. So those are 4 cuts, right? Right when it lands, I made the cut. So all I need to do is just back, go a little bit back, and then do that. Go a little bit back, and then do that, and then go a little bit back, and then cut the front end of that clip is what I'm doing. So then you'd have something like, you put the first, boom, boom, boom. So it's a little bit more dynamic, right? And if you add a little, maybe at the song, you know, when it goes and you just see a bunch of thighs just being dropped in the grill, that automatically creates like, you know, engagement, right? Because it's interesting, like, oh, what's going on here? Like suddenly placing chicken thighs on the grill becomes interesting. That 35-second of just a still shot, doesn't move around, it's just static, all of a sudden becomes visually interesting. And you put music down there, and it's fantastic, right? It's engaging. It keeps you watching. At least that's my hope. So that's what I ended up doing on my video. Is you'll see 3 of those instances. I think when I put down the chicken thighs and when I remove them, those are for sure 2 instances where I do that. That kind of just do. But if you've seen my other videos, I do this technique all the time. In shorts especially, because shorts you have to be like real quick with those, because you only got 60 seconds to tell your recipe. You can't use 35 seconds of that putting down chicken thighs on there. So that's my method. And again, I am sorry if I'm boring anybody with this kind of stuff. I mean, but here's where I remove it. And you see how this is the other instance where I put everything on kind of on the indirect side. So this is even a longer clip of me doing that because I'm checking to make sure the sears are correct before I put it off to the side. So again, see I'm putting the chicken thighs back on there, just making sure that it's got good color, and kind of flipping it over. I'm like, oh, that part is cool. This part, oh yeah, this part is cool. And I'm just so, because there's hot zones on your grill, and even the little pieces. Yeah, I didn't mention this in the video, but those little pieces didn't even make it in that plate because I was just eating them as they were coming off the grill. But again, this is this is a very long clip of me putting the chicken thighs over onto the side. But we didn't need to see that in my video, I don't think. Did anybody miss that? Or maybe I could have made a better video if I would have left that in there? I don't know. And I don't want to say that all content creators should do this, because if you, I want to emphasize, this is not just because I do it doesn't mean this is the only way to do it. There's plenty of people who could show the process of removing thighs or putting them on the indirect side, and they're talking in the background, and it keeps you engaged, because usually when somebody's a good talker, then they could tell a story, they could give you tips, and there's just something about their voice, something about their instruction that is great. But I will not bore anyone with any more editing for the rest of the night. It's a deal. What's up, John? You missed my little editing session here. Everybody dozed off. Okay, everybody could wake up now. No more editing talk for the rest of the evening. Cheers. So yeah, for those who haven't checked out the video, it's a good one. I like it. It came out better than I expected it to be, with that quick little tweak that I did, introducing the fire baskets. I think that was the key. And yeah, it was terrific. The next video I'm gonna do, should I If people are still awake, do you guys want a little heads up on what I'm releasing next week? If anybody's awake, let me know if you want a little sneak peek. Maybe this isn't going to be my next video. Maybe it'll be 2 weeks from now that I'll release this. Because my next week, I think I might do this chicken cook that I did today. I filmed today, and I think it's an easy enough thing where I could just quickly edit this thing out and just have it ready by next week. And then the other one that I'm more excited about, I will release it in 2 weeks. I think that's the plan. But if anyone wants a sneak peek, anyone here, Bueller. No? Alright. Well, then you get no sneak peeks. You get 0 sneak peeks, guys. Because you guys dozed after in my editing lesson. Moral of the story is, do not give anybody editing lessons on the live, because they will fall asleep. But yeah, so what other things do I got planned? So I am there's just so many videos that I got coming through. I could talk about it. I could talk about the videos that I'm going to film. Separate question, right? So there's one video that I am excited about doing, and so yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about breakfast tacos. What do you like on a breakfast taco, guys? So I am going, this video I'm planning, I'll probably film it this weekend. That's the plan. Film it this weekend. And my recipe's already, what I want on it, it's already laid out. And it's gonna have your egg in there. It's gonna have your steak. So my idea is just put like steak and eggs in a taco. What would that look like? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a breakfast taco, steak and eggs. So maybe call it steak and egg taco. I don't know. I have to think about the title. There's a few title suggestions that I got in mind, but I gotta hit the right words just so that it's searchable. And breakfast taco is probably the main keywords I'm going to use, because I'm sure people search for that more than a steak and egg taco. But maybe I'd also want to hit that because that's what's included, and anybody searching for steak and eggs recipes will come across the taco version. I don't know. It always becomes tricky to determine what words you should use in the title, and I'm still brainstorming it. I've got everything that I want to put on that taco, but it's all about, and then the picture too. I got to make sure that the picture, I could get away with not saying it's a steak and egg taco if the picture, you could clearly see that there's an egg and there's some steak in there. That's the cool thing about the area we work in is you don't have to say what it is if you show it, right? I mean, yes, you'd probably be a good idea to put it in the title somewhere or on the thumbnail, but sometimes if the picture could speak for itself, that takes some true skill. If you could just tell what it is by looking at the picture, because you're not going to be there, behind your audiences and explaining to them as they're watching the videos, like, oh, I do this, I put steaks and I put eggs in this taco. You're not there to explain it to them, so you have to get interest right away off the thumbnail, and then you have to also deliver, right? How would you feel if you clicked on a steak and egg taco the thumbnail's there, and then the title is there, but then when you click on it, I decide to put some some bacon and potatoes. It's a bacon and potato taco. You would be like, what the hell's going on here? You lied to me. How dare you? And give this person a thumbs down. And I'll show them. And a mean comment. So that's kind of the thought process, is whatever you say it is, whatever they see on that picture, you better deliver. Or how would you feel if I said it's going to be a steak and egg taco, but then I just don't make a taco out of it. I just put it on a plate. You'd be like, what is this? You lied to me again, Sal. How dare you? So you always have to, you'd have to, you have to cash in on your promises. Let me see here. So do I have anything else to show you? That might be it. I think that might be it. I'm gonna close down on my. It's taking up a lot of resources. Opening up I haven't done this in a while too. Opening up Final Cut Pro and showing you what's on there. I haven't done that in a while. But as always, I will drop the link. There's 20 minutes left. But I'll drop the link, see if anybody wants to pop in. We could talk about anything, and we could avoid talking about editing if that's what you feel. I haven't had a single comment since I started talking about editing. See if I could find the link here. There it goes. Copied. Paste. Cancel. No. What's up, PG Digits? What's up? So here is my link. Jump in. Got 20 minutes here. We could talk about 4th of July. We could talk about my last video. We could talk about my next video. We probably shouldn't talk about editing just because it seemed like that was a big fail. But I mean, we can. If you have questions about my editing, I'm an open book when it comes to that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I will not talk about it. Taco about it. Yeah. Let me see here. Also feels weird going back on my my old computer. So I'm streaming from, as you can tell in the background, I'm streaming from my iMac, and it's kind of weird jumping back on here. I already got used to just streaming from my laptop. Feels like with my laptop, like I mentioned that before. The great thing about streaming from your laptop is you can really take this anywhere, right? You could go outside. You could take it anywhere as long as there's internet. So there is that restriction. Obviously, I can't. I would love to, take it into the front yard, in that. But one, it's too noisy because of all the airplanes, and two, my Wi-Fi just keeps cutting out. So that wouldn't be the best idea to do that. But thinking about getting an extender, and this way you get different backgrounds. It's not just this one here or my other one. It'll be different. I really should invest in a green screen, right? This way people would think that I'm at the beach. What's up? Sleepy's Adventures. What's going on, Lance? Got a new video coming up for that channel, hopefully. Because that's a really good channel, Lance, that you got. I dig that idea of just, hey, this is what I do when I'm not cooking. I'm out there traveling. I'm out there camping and all that stuff. You should make more videos of that, Lance. You need to populate more videos. And because I'm thinking of doing something like that, but not like yours, but where it's something that has nothing to do with food. And I could probably, you know, go on the technical aspect of it. This whole thing that just made everybody fall asleep when I was talking editing. There are people that enjoy that, believe it or not. I know it's hard for the chat to comprehend why anybody would sit through a live of me explaining how to edit, but I think there is an audience for that. I mean, I know there's a bunch of channels explaining you how to edit, and it's a very technical thing. But the thing that's stopping me from doing that, I feel like it's too, like it's almost too technical. You know, I love the creative part of editing. I don't like the technical part. And I think a lot of the people that like that kind of stuff are more into the technical. Like they want to know what buttons I hit to do something. Or, you know, how to, you know, what are the right settings, export settings to upload to YouTube. It's very technical. They're not asking me, how did you speed up that clip so quickly when you're laying down those chicken thighs on that grill? How did you make it go by so fast and so seamless? People are not asking those questions. And that's the stuff that I love, you know, the creative aspect of it. Or why did you choose to put the shot of you tasting it at the beginning of the video versus the end? You know, again, it's all creative, right? So those are the things that I like, and maybe there is an audience for that. You know, just maybe something. Maybe I'll call it something like Getting Creative with Sal. You know, and it doesn't have to be just editing. It could just be, you know, taking a photo or filming, or it doesn't even have to be food, right? I could take it to my, you know, anytime I go on vacation, I shoot a ton of footage. So it could making a quick little short for my Instagram, and I could show you how to do it, or how I got a particular shot, or how I got a photo. I mean, that'd be an interesting channel. Maybe not for the audience that I developed here, you know, with the cooking, the barbecue, but I'm sure there's an audience for that. You know, Get Creative with Sal. I gotta write that idea down. GetCreativeWithSal.com. Join us, our weekly live, where you get creative with Sal. And it's not going to be, I'm going to avoid technical garbage. It's going to be like just creative, like thoughts, you know, thought process, you know, what makes you plate something a certain way, or what makes you, how to take a sunset shot with a photo, or, you know, how to light, you know, and just things like that. And then with editing, it could be, how do you speed up time? How do you slow down time? How do you determine what song fits? How do you, you know, make somebody here fumbling their words like myself? How do you make them sound good? You know, where they actually sound like they know what they're talking about. How do you cut those ums and the mistakes, so that when you cut it down together, it's just seamless? How do you do that? That's creative. So maybe those are the kind of topics that I should discuss. You know, it goes beyond editing. It could be how to take a cool food shot with your photo. You know, what kind of app should you use? How should you light it? How should you angle it? Which of these 3 cameras should you use? You know, what kind of lighting? Where should you place what should you put around your food? These are all creative things, and I dig the hell out of that stuff. Hi, I'm just excited about you streaming while I'm grilling some pork chops on my Weber kettle. Excellent, Michael. That is awesome. So what are you doing with those pork chops? Did you brine them? What kind of seasoning did you put on them? That's really cool. And that's a cool thing that I like. Speaking about creative, like Get Creative with Sal. The other thing that I like about cooking, and this is what really kind of turned me on about cooking and just barbecue in general, is the creativeness, right? You could do whatever the heck you want. You could cook ribs a bunch of different ways, different seasonings, anything. Cook them low and slow. You can cook them hot and fast. It's up to you to decide. So you get creative, and it's the food is only going to be, you're going to enjoy it more when you give your own input, when you really, really get creative with your food. And that's what it's all about too. And maybe that I discussed this on my new channel. How do you come up with interesting recipes? So I'm glad, Michael, that you're grilling out there, because that's remember the beginning of the year I said this. I want people, especially new people. I'm not talking to content creators. I'm not talking about the people that are just grilling out there every day. I'm talking about the new person who either doesn't have a grill yet or just got a grill. They're cooking once a year. It's all about convincing them to cook more often. If they cook once a year, try 3 times a year this year. If you only cook ribs for 4th of July, try cooking up a brisket for 4th of July. If you cook 1 brisket, try cooking 2. If you're cooking once a week, try two a week. There's always something where you could elevate it, right? And if you don't have a grill, then get a grill. That'll be the first thing. That's my goal for this year and the remaining part of the year, is to convince new people, the new crowd, the ones that don't feel comfortable, to make them comfortable and to make them excited about cooking out there, because that's what it's all about. And us, the content creators in this chat, we're all about, food brings us together, so we love it. See, I'm struggling with it. Supposed to be retired, but I'm working on a couple of vids. That's very cool, Lance. I'm glad that's on your radar. But yeah, don't stop. Keep going. Society's pretty fast food. We want the end product now. Yeah, exactly. It's even fast food. I would say this. A couple, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, maybe more than that, right? Maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, fast food was just affordable. It was quick. It was, sometimes it could be delicious. I'm not gonna lie to you. But now that it's expensive and the quality hasn't gone up, there's zero reason to go out there and get fast food unless you're feeling lazy. Because the expense alone, I knew people that would eat fast food every other day. But you try doing that now, that's very expensive. So cook at home. The quality is going to be way better. Save those fast food trips to when you're really feeling lazy or you want to treat yourself, Because I'm not going to say I cut down all fast food. I'm not going to say that I cook my meals all the time. No. I'll gladly go out and get a street taco. I don't want to. Sometimes I don't want to cook it myself. I'll go out there and get lunch. I'm supporting other businesses. So it's one of those things where like I said, fast food is just too expensive to get that more than once a month. Just cook your food and prep your food. What's up, Al? Al is in the house. Al Lunacy. Sal tiene cara de qué? No sé, Simon, de qué tengo cara de qué? ¿De menso? Sal tiene cara de menso. Is that what you're saying, Simon? I should give you a little ban right now. Just joking, man. Welcome, Simon. How do you turn back time? Oh, he's getting a little music there. Welcome back, Moose. Moose. Do you the beauty of barbecuing? Yes, it's all about and especially in the summers. Who would not want, instead of in that warming up and heating up the house with that kitchen with that stove, Just go outside and make yourself some pork chops. Fantastic. Michael says, brisket still scares me. Been grilling and smoking for 4 years now. That's the cut I'm afraid to pull the trigger on. I know I should just get it out of the way. Yeah, a good brisket, just anybody here will tell you, all the content creators, your first brisket, it's probably not going to be good. But I'm going to actually not say that just because you have a bit of experience on there. If you've been slow, if you know your smoker or if you know your cooker very well, and you know how to maintain those temperatures, introducing brisket, and if you cook low and slow meat before, the introduction of brisket, yeah, your trim is gonna probably suck like mine, but just think of it as just an extended amount of time, so you're out there longer. So you got to make sure that you've got, that you know how to maintain that fire for a long period of time. And the most important thing with brisket is just pull it when the brisket will tell you when it's done. Once it's nice and tender, that's when it's time to pull it. This brisket will speak to you. I'm not the most experienced person cooking up a brisket, but I do know that's the biggest advice that anyone could give you is the brisket will tell you when it's done. Once it's nice and tender, and by then that bark would just be nicely formed. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But if you never cooked low and slow like meats before, then start with a chuck roast. It'll be faster, and it gives you the idea of, okay, this is kind of my fire is there. This is how I develop the bark around the chuck roast. This is how it gets tender. And pork butt is another one that people highly recommend when you get a smoker. You want to do low and slow, get yourself a pork butt because they're very forgiving. If your temperature swing up to 300 and then back down to 225 and you're just on a roller coaster, the pork butt still can come out spectacular. So that's the easiest one that people always recommend, and it's a long smoke too. So it'll take you a couple of good amount of time. So this tests how good are you at maintaining that fire for a long period of time. So these are all good things for you to think about. But yeah, try doing that, Michael. Try we're July 10th right now, August. You got 2 months. Let's try cooking up a brisket. It doesn't have to be a huge one either, because that's the other thing that I personally don't like about briskets. It's it's a lot of it, right? So I always cook them, when there's going to be people around to eat it, or otherwise I like cooking it and just slicing it and just making a bunch of different things on it. Enchiladas, smoked brisket enchiladas. I'm a big fan of that stuff. You can make sandwiches. You can make a lot of stuff. So make that a goal. Try to cook a brisket by the end of the summer. You have until beginning of September, whenever Labor Day is. I think it's like that first Monday of September. Maybe cook it on Labor Day. Who knows? And make sure you follow some of these guys in the chat. Al Lunacy, Sleeper, John, if he's still in here. Let me see who else is in here. Joe was in here earlier. These are all people. Simon. These are all people that have cooked briskets, came out terrific. And I'm scrolling right now the list to see if I missed anybody. Drunken Chef was in here earlier. You could go check him out. Go leave a comment in there if you got questions. Everybody here is willing to help out. I cooked a couple briskets on my channel. Check those out. Again, if you have any questions, hit me up. But don't let the brisket scare you. We have a charcoal grill that was given to us this past year, a $20 one that if you touch it, it shakes. We have not used it yet. They did while here. That's cool. Yeah, you got to put that grill to use. I mean, it's flimsy, but hey, it probably could make some good food. Don't let the cheapness and the shakiness scare you, you know? As long as it could hold charcoal in there and everything is safe, doesn't topple over or anything crazy like that. Throw some asada on there, right? Throw some steaks, throw some burgers, throw some hot dogs. Come on, grilled hot dogs and burgers. You can't get better than that. Such an easy thing. Go get yourself some ground meat. You know, throw some salt, pepper, garlic. Doesn't need much. If you want to get fancy, then get yourself a nice little rub. But you don't need that much. And then on the burger, you could put it whatever you want on there. You don't like onions, don't put onions. You love ketchup, then put some ketchup on there. Make it yours. You know, grilled burgers and hot dogs. You cannot go wrong with that. Steaks are also awesome. Get whenever there's a sale, you know, of good steaks, good T-bones, good ribeyes. You know, grab yourself, you know, get that cheap price and then cook it up. That's what it's all about. It's all about cooking. Refresh the glass. There you go. The Moose. Fast food is disappointing for the cost. $50 to feed a family. Some middle of the road, low quality food. Exactly, Michael. This is why. Back when you used to feed a whole family with $20, and I could see, okay, I could see a point. You know, like, hey, you gotta put food on the table. This is the quickest and the easiest thing. Go to McDonald's, pick up, you know, meals for everybody. You're done, right? $5 per person brings you around $20. You were good. But now $50, you really got to think. For $50, I know groceries are also expensive, right? But if you're smart about it, you catch stuff on sale. You know, you freeze it, you defrost it when you're ready to cook it. Chicken is always affordable. Pork butts are always affordable. Pork butts are fantastic just because they yield a lot of meat. And you could do a lot with a pork butt. And I'm going to show you that on my 2 weeks from now, what you could do with a pork butt. And it's great, and you have a lot of meat. And if you invest in a vacuum sealer, put some of that away for a rainy day. Seal some away, and then whenever you're ready to make a pulled pork sandwich, you just take that off the freezer, reheat it, and you got yourself some amazing pulled pork not pulled pork tacos, but pulled pork sandwiches in the middle of the week. But that's those are all good things to do. We had the same one a few years ago. We tried to cook on it and all burned. Hey, Peaceful Des, you could pick up. There's a lot of marketplace deals. You could pick up a cheap, maybe a Weber knockoff or something like that. I see those grills all the time, and they're probably a little bit more sturdier. But the marketplace, don't shy away from that marketplace. You could get some awesome deals. You don't have to buy a new Weber grill. You know, you could buy a used, or a cheap knockoff too. You know, just make sure that it's in good shape when you're looking at it. Make sure there's the vents and everything they work, and the actual grill grade is not rusted over. There's no holes on the actual kettle. Make sure everything is good. You know, all the handles are where they're supposed to be, and there's no significant damage on those, and those will last you for a very long time. So one thing to kind of look into. Just got back from Charleston, South Carolina. Tried Rodney Scott's barbecue. Wow, legit. Gave me a tour of their smokers. That's awesome, Emerald G. That is very cool. What were you there for? Were you just there visiting, or visiting family with the 4th of July? What was going on over there? But that's cool. Rodney Scott's barbecue. Kind of want to look them up now. Rodney Scott's barbecue. Rodney Scott's whole hog barbecue. I want to block. You don't need to know my location, Rodney Scott's. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Burlingham, 2701 18th Street. Very cool. View the menu. Let's see what's on top of their menu. They got some amazing sandwiches. Rod's original whole hog pulled pork sandwich. Take a couple of those. Pork shoulder plate. Ooh. You got a quarter chicken, half a chicken. Got turkey breast. Prime beef brisket. Got them all. They got everything there. Nice little menu too. I like their little menu. Taters and greens. What kind of sides? Ooh, they got potato salad, crinkle cut fries. I love crinkle cut fries. Baked beans, mac and cheese, collard greens, coleslaw. My mouth is just watering right now. Cornbread. I want to make some good cornbread. Is anybody in the chat have good cornbread recipes? I want to make some cornbread. Hush puppies, onion rings, and a side salad. No one wants the salad. You don't make friends with salad. We'll skip the salad. But that's awesome. That is awesome. Learn to smoke with pork loins and spatchcock chicken. That's the way to do it. The spatchcock chicken is like my go-to. I cooked the whole chicken today, as a matter of fact. Chicken is cheap, and I want to say it's easy, but there's little things that you got to learn. The breast is probably the most important thing that all of us learn, right? Don't go over on temperature with the breast because it's gonna be too dry. That's why I don't like breast meat. I love my favorite part are thighs. I love the thighs. But sometimes you got to cook up a whole chicken because it's cheaper than the individual chicken pieces. So you take up a whole chicken, and Joe actually did this today, right? Smoking Joe. He took 2 chickens and he cut them up into pieces, and he cooked all of those pieces separately. And that is the big tip is to divide them out. This way you take out the breast. You don't overcook the breast. You take it out when it's ready. And you could take the thighs and the legs a little bit higher temperature, because it could go up to 180, 190, and it's still very juicy and flavorful. So you get to determine that. But spatchcock, there's nothing wrong. It's easy. I know it looks daunting to remove the backbone, but it's a very easy thing to do. Once you do it once, you're like, okay, this is not a big deal. I could keep doing this. But that's awesome. That is awesome. Labor Day is right around the anniversary too. That's perfect, Michael. A brisket for your anniversary. Hey, what's up, Elite Barbecue Smokers? How you doing? Everybody's saying hi to Jason. What up, guys? Laying in Bat 13, cooking briskets, just focusing on tenderness. Yes. So Jason says, yeah, that's the hardest thing. And I know it's as a person who just has never done a brisket, it's very easy to go to those groups and ask, how long does it take? What temperature should I remove it at? And it's just those questions they're good questions, but it's not the end all, because as the barbecue guys in here will tell you, there is no set temperature and there is no set time. Like I said earlier, the brisket will tell you when it's done. Not if me telling you that it's going to take you 10 hours and you remove it at 10 hours, even though it's not tender enough or too tender, then that doesn't help you, and then you're going to hate me. That's why you got to check for tenderness, and then you determine. The brisket will tell you, the temperature as well. Some briskets, below 200 degrees, 190. I've had a brisket finish at 196. It was perfectly tender at 196. And then other briskets, 208, and they're just still probing tough. You just got to let it. You got to let it good, and you got to rest it, and you got to trust your probe, your tenderness. And that's what it is. And that's the hardest lesson, I think, people making brisket. Plus you're tired too, and I get it. If your brisket took you 12 hours, by the 12th hour you just want that thing done, right? If you're feeding people, you're just trying to raise the temperature up high to get it done quicker, and you're stressing the hell out, So I understand all of that. That's part of the game. That is part of the game. Like, if you think it's going to take you 12 hours, just give yourself 14. If you think it's going to take you 10, give yourself 12. Give yourself a little. This way you're not disappointing people, and you've said dinner was at 6 o'clock and it's now 8:30 and there's still no brisket to be seen. You don't want to do that. It's stressful, but keep it fun. That's my best advice. Our issue is we throw it on there when when the charcoal's on fire, and it's not when the charcoal is grayish. We do not know when the right time is to put the meat on the grill. Yeah, that's definitely, you have to have it. You have to have a good strategy for that. Some say just completely gray over, but I don't. That's the safe way to do it. When it's all gray, then it's good, right? But I feel like the charcoal at that point is burned down a little bit too much, especially if you're using a chimney. If you wait for it all to just look gray, then it's the chimney probably went down, and you probably need to put more charcoal in there to just have enough to cook. But I want to say there's like just a night. Maybe I should make a video. It's when your charcoal is ready on that chimney, and when you're ready to pour. When it's not, maybe I'll do it like, this is not the right time to do it. This is, you just gone way past, you should have done this 10 minutes ago. And this is the right way. This is the right time to pour your charcoal. I should make a video about that. I'm not going to write that down. I'll remember it. I'm looking at the marketplace all the time. Yeah, keep looking. There's sometimes, especially like popular grills. Like I know Weber grills are very hard because everybody wants them, and the few times that you do see it, they're probably pretty expensive. So that part sucks. But you just got to give it time. You just got to keep at it. I think it was your video I followed, but I did the ground pork al pastor. Now I'm planning a real al pastor this weekend with a pork butt. Very cool. I'm also planning that. I want to make an al pastor video, just because I'm on a taco kick right now. I'm making all kinds of tacos right now, and that's the idea where the breakfast taco came in. So I'm doing that next. But al pastor, I want to tackle al pastor. That's the next thing, because I love tacos, and if I could have every single type of taco that you could get at a taco truck, then that is my goal. I want to make a full menu, which is all the different videos of all the different types of tacos that you can get. That is my goal. Probably won't finish it this year, but at some point, by next year, I will have that full menu of all the tacos. You can get a Weber kettle for $50 off Marketplace. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's all about that Weber kettle, guys. Get two. None anywhere near me, digits. Rodney smoked his first whole hog when he was 9. His dad had a big order. Rodney company cuts their own wood too. That's very cool that they do that. That's awesome. For brisket, are you looking for the same probe tender like you would a pork butt for pulled pork? Exactly. That's exactly what you're looking for, Michael. Nice and tender. Something to keep in mind. Cook brisket one day and serve it to the next day. That's what I've been doing too, P digits. Ever since I rested my brisket with sous vide, I am never going back to cooking that brisket the same day, because now I'll cook it the day before and then vacuum seal it, place it in the sous vide, and the next day when the guests arrive, then that's when I will serve it. That's when I will cut it, and it's going to be super tender because that hold on that sous vide, hold it at 150. It's gonna. You might even get away with not even bringing it to full tenderness. Like don't specific. That's another idea that I wanna do next time I do a brisket. Is I wanna maybe pull like way earlier, like pick at 190 or something, when I know the brisket is not tender, and then just put in that sous vide and just go maybe 12 hours on it, 15 hours, and at 150, and I guarantee you that brisket's gonna be perfect tenderness with that long rest. That's something, and it gives you this, it relieves the stress, right, of worrying about, is this brisket could be done, my guests are coming, is this thing done, what's going on, and then you're worried and you get stressed the hell out, right? You're trying to get this thing done. Sous vide rest is just, it's there, it's cooked, it's tender, and it's ready to serve whenever you're ready. That just completely takes away everything, all the stress out. see here. What about without the chimney? So without the chimney, I know what you're doing, Des. So you're lighting it up. You're dumping your charcoal onto the charcoal grate, and then you're lighting it up. And then obviously, if you put one of those charcoal stars in the middle, then the middle part will be grayed out, and then the outer area will not be. So what I do for that, I mix it up. So if the center is lit, just mix it all up, and then it only takes a couple of more minutes for the other ones to catch. And as long as your lid is open and your vents are fully open, that's going to be enough oxygen to get the rest of it started. It's starting to get gray, and then and you're good. So that's what I like to do. So if you are if you're lighting up the charcoal on the grill and you're putting starter cubes in the center, and the center is all grayed out, just mix it up. And just give it maybe, I would just say like 4 or 5 minutes, and the rest of it will catch. And then go ahead and throw your grate on there and just start cooking. As long as you don't see, because if I don't know if you noticed this, but sometimes you'll get a little bit of smoke on there. But when the coals are ready, there's very, very little smoke, if any, coming out of those briquettes. Let's see, what about the chimney? Something to keep in mind: the lower cooking temperature, the lower finish temperature. The higher the cooking, the temperature. Awesome advice. Yeah, that's very, very true, Jason. I'm very glad what he says here. He's what he's saying is that if you're cooking at a 225, it's probably going to be finished at a lower temperature, and if you're cooking hot and fast, then it's going to be done at a higher temperature. That is absolutely true. Very glad you brought that up. Again, there's just so many things, right? There's so many variables that are happening. So definitely get two. I really want a second one or a Weber Smoky Mountain. Yeah, Weber Smoky Mountain is awesome. I fell in love with that smoker. Thanks due to my using it as Santa Maria grill. It's great. It's good stuff. Okay, I'm out, folks. Long day dodging tornadoes here. It does not happen around here. I had one land mile for me. Got lucky, no damage. Good night, all. Good night, Demoose. Stay safe, please. Stay safe, and thank you for jumping on here. I'd love to have a Weber Smoky Mountain. Love the Weber Smoky Mountain. You could also get those on the marketplace. I pull at 205 no matter what, and wrap in beach towels, put that in a dry cooler, and take a shower. That's the way, P Digits. That's awesome. Then wait for the flame to come down before placing the meat down. Okay. Good night, Moose. All right, I love the chat. I love that you guys had questions, and then this is great. So me stopping down and not talking about editing was a key here, because I got some awesome conversation here and some good grilling tips, and that's great. So I am 18 minutes past my time. I went over an hour, but this is all good conversation. So I'm very, very glad you all joined me. Thank you very much. Again, this is why I love jumping on these lives, just to be, hang out with all of you. And even if it's just me talking here, it's still a lot of fun interacting with the chat. And I'll try to keep it going. I feel better, so there's no reason why I won't go live next week. But if anything happens, I'll keep people updated on my community posts. And yeah, go check out my video if you haven't checked it out that I dropped today, chicken thighs. And probably we'll release another video next week. Not sure when, but maybe Wednesday's my goal now. If I post every Wednesday, who knows? But we'll see you. Have everyone stay safe. If you live in a crappy weather, if you're having crappy weather, stay safe. Stay cool if you're living in hot weather. And everybody, remember, keep grilling, keep cooking. Cook more, learn how to cook something. We'll talk about it next week. See what you guys are up to. But yeah, y'all have a good one. Have a safe one. All right, peace.